This is going to be a very quick one for two reasons. Number one, I promised myself I wouldn't make any more videos because divided energy is wasted energy, and I decided to dedicate all my time and efforts into whatever I'm building right now and the work I'm doing. And number two, because I've got to wake up at 5 a.m. for a run, and I'm going to leave this here. The reason I'm recording and breaking my promise of not making any more YouTube videos was I want to leave this here as a reminder to myself and anyone who is watching. If it helps them in any way, I would consider this video to be a success, as I always do with every single video I post. So earlier today, I was talking to someone who decided to help me with what I was building. New Find, it's a discovery platform for shoppers to find new brands to shop from. You can check it online. It's newfind.com, NUEFIND. So when I was telling them about it, about our marketing plans, the plans we're onboarding, and so on, they're like, okay, how many people in the team? And I said, it's just me, and we recently onboarded one other person who's helping us with brand outreach and so on. So essentially, it's two people right now. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, cool. And how's it going? All that. We're telling about the brands we onboarded. And then, they asked how long I've been working for it on. I said only a couple of months, and I don't get time on to work on it entirely because I'm working a full time job. And they were like, what? You're working a full time job? Oh my god, how do you get time to do it? All of that. And they were saying it in a way that it was a very big deal, but I don't see it that way. And a lot of people have said this in the past as well, and I simply fail to see it that way. Not because I believe it's not important that I'm doing, or it isn't a big deal or whatever, but I just don't see it that way because it shouldn't be applauded just because I'm putting the time into it. The only way or only time it should actually be applauded or should even be recognized is when something comes out of it, because the results matter, the input doesn't, only the output does. Only when you see it actually become a success, then sure, you can take a minute and actually celebrate. Until then, I see no reason to celebrate. And actually, the people who I really appreciate is those who push me to do better, those who actually point out the faults in what I'm building and not applaud me for taking the courage to start building it, because there's no real benefit to that. If someone tells me, oh my god, it's fantastic that you're building something, like, oh, that's so cool. No, it's not. Everyone's building something. Everyone's nowadays with the AI coming up, everyone's doing something. Like, I don't even know if people have an idea or a vision or something. I'm not saying they don't, but everyone's doing something. So it's really not a big deal to be building something. It's only a big deal when something comes out of it and actually doing something. So when someone tells me, the other day I was actually telling my idea of new find to someone else, and they were telling me about this idea of a startup they have. I know they know someone who's working on a startup, and I was like, okay, shit, that's insane. Like, so this person who's working in the startup is just doing a whole lot, and they have like interviewed 500 people personally, and just got a review on it and all that, and a lot of primary research done, a lot of money put into it, a lot of time and effort put into it. And I'm like, shit, that's insane, man. Like, I got to lock into that. That's the kind of work I got to put into New Find. And the person said, so I mean, yeah. Did you just think that making reels and building a website, makes a successful business? And at the moment, I was offended. I was like, "Whoa, are you mocking me?" But I thought about it, and the person was right, and I really appreciated that, because you want people finding faults in you, and that is the only way you can actually become better. Right now, for example, an author writes a book. Now, the book would obviously have some faults, right? And it goes to the editor to be reviewed and to like edit the changes and just the way the book's written and so on, right? Now, when the editor comes back saying, "Hey, there are like a couple of changes you need to make in this book. There's a mistake in chapter three, chapter four, chapter five, and so on," the author won't say, "Oh, how could you say that? How could you say my book has mistakes?" You're supposed to say, "Oh, what a great book it is." But that's not how it works. That does no benefit to both the editor and the author. The editor's job is to edit and point out faults in the book or make it a better book, and the author's job is to write a good book and take in whatever he says, whatever the editor says, in good spirit to make a better book. But we as humans, right, we tend to be very defensive. At least me, right, in the past, I'd be very defensive if someone said anything negative about anything I'm doing. I would be super offended, and I would like strike back, saying, "What are you doing? What are you building? Who are you to say or comment on what I'm doing?" Of course, it's a very, 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 very bad sentiment to have. There's a very bad notion to have in your mind when someone points out a fault or something, right? Of course, take it with a grain of salt. Like, some people are just there to like pull you down, which is fine. There'll always be people like that, but there's some people who actually genuinely find faults and then want to help you improve and want to help you become better. Take that well, and don't get upset about it, because end of the day, you want what you're building to be successful. And if someone's pointing out something wrong with it or something bad about it, the the only way you should take it is a positive one, because it's going to help you make the thing better. And build it and actually become successful at it. And the other day, so I have someone very close to me who keeps pushing me to my limit, right? So I tell them that, so this is the opposite of how people compliment me. They're like, oh my god, you're working on new fund, even though you have a full-time job and all that, right? But sometimes it does get too much, right? And it does get to the point where I don't have, like, literally in the day I don't have time to work on it. So I have to choose between even like going to the gym or working on new fund, or even like having dinner with my friends or working on new fund. So obviously I have to pick new fund every single time, but end of the day I'm human, of course, no excuse to be made there. But still, and this person keeps mocking me, not mocking me, it keeps pointing out, right, that you have to put every waking hour into it. There's no question about it. Do you want it to be successful, yes or no? Yes, then you have to do it. There's no discussion about it at all, and that's what I love about this person, right? So that's what I really appreciate. People who push you to become better continuously. That is what I like. Just being nice, complimenting, or saying something nice about it does no good to anyone. Like, yeah, it'll make you feel good for a minute, but there's no real point of that, you know? So this person told me, right, that so when I was complaining, saying, and I'm not complaining, but I was just like talking about my day. I was saying, like, it was a crazy day at work. I came back, I was so exhausted. I just called a couple brands to get on board to the platform, and those calls didn't go well, so my morale was gone down even more for that day. And that person, like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You do you want your app to be a success? Then you got to do it, right? You have to do things you don't want to do, and you cannot take a break. You cannot chill. You cannot just take time off, because then someone else is going to do it. If you won't do it, someone else is going to do it. Now the only question is, do you want to be the one up there who has done it? If you do, then you got to do it. There's no question about it. So I keep reminding myself that there is no question about it. Now tomorrow, when New Find does become a success, right? I won't, um, you know, regret not going out with my friends and all that, because I know the sacrifices I've made for it, and I made this conscious decision of putting all the work into it, right? And then eventually it's going to pay off. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. Maybe 100 brands will reject me before 100 brands come on board to New Find. So all that is going to happen, but all that matters is you keep putting the work into it and keep taking criticism that others give you in a good way. Because at the end of the day, if you want to become successful, you gotta put the work in, and you gotta take the criticism in a good way. And of course, stay away. Now this is like a double-edged sword, right? When someone's giving you criticism, you want to stay away from the people who just try to bring you down, because I've had people just mock me for it also. They're just like, what the fuck are you building? It's just a website, or it's just some shit, right? And in a very negative way, in a very not helpful, non-constructive way, which I obviously don't appreciate, but I also don't care about, because you don't have time to actually listen to what they're saying and all that, right? So bottom line is, if you want to build something real, put the efforts into it, put the work into it, take the criticism, take all the criticism you can get. Like, if people are saying something bad about you, make notes of it. If they're saying something good about it, doesn't matter. It's already done on the website, so it doesn't matter. You don't need the compliments. The compliments are not helping you, right? All you need is the validation. Okay, the validation in terms of the product you're building, right? The market validation. So they say, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. Okay, all right, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, this is bad. Fix that immediately. So you gotta keep in mind that when someone tells you something bad about what you're building, right? That can be two ways. One, where it actually improves the product, right? Is actually improves the value addition that's there in the value chain you're adding to the customers, and just the whole flow of it, or the workflow, or the building, or product, whatever it is, it adds value to it. Or number two is the personal preference of them. So you can't take everyone's personal preference into consideration, right? Now, earlier today I had someone telling me that, why is this in the center? It should be on the side. And they were talking about some subheading or side, some title on the website, and I was like, dude, that can't be on the side. So I gave them the reason as to why it's on the side. They're like, no, 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 I think it looks better there. Now all this is rubbish. The title being in the center won't help me get more orders. It won't help more brands come on board. There's no real benefit or value addition there to the product or service and that I'm building, right? So that kind of shit, you got to keep it away. It does no good to you. It does no good to anyone there. But when someone tells you, this is the problem with the website, the workflow is not good, so the customers can't order the thing properly and check out efficiently, that's something you have to change. Or you could get offended, like, no, my UX is perfect, I paid so much money to get it developed, and it's perfect the way it is. Then you're cooked. And end of the day, let's say, like, if something doesn't become successful or does become successful, it's your fault. It's you're the only one to be blamed or attributed to for the success, right? And the problem with excuses is, someone told this to me, right? Because I used to make excuses saying, dude, like I can't build it. Like even though I want to, I have the vision in my mind and all that. I can't build it because it's just way too much work with my job and all that. Now the thing with excuses is it doesn't matter, right? Just for an example, long ago, if you guys have watched the earlier videos, I was studying for an exam, a CFA, right? And I failed it by a couple of marks, by 55 marks to be precise. I needed 1,600 to pass. I got a 1,545, right? And everyone's telling me, oh, like you did so well, like you could just study a bit more, attempt it again, and you'll do really well. And don't worry about it. You gave a fantastic attempt. And in my head, I was just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I could have failed by 5 marks. I could have failed by 500 marks. I failed. Like the bottom line, finished. Like the exam's over. You have failed. So it doesn't matter if you've just passed, like just failed by a mark or like 100 marks. It doesn't matter. And that's the same thing with excuses, right? You can give 100 reasons not to do something. Today morning, I had to go to the gym, and I didn't want to because there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of shit happening at my job as well. So all this thing happening, I'm like, shit, should I go to the gym? It's like an hour gone there and all that. But I was also losing weight, and as you can tell, I don't even look like I work out, which is terrible because I've been working out for years. And the problem is, it's all excuses. End of the day, if I don't go to the gym, it's my fault, and I'm to be blamed, right? So I can make 100 reasons to not go to the gym, but there's only one reason to go, and that's, if you want a good body, you gotta go. That's it. Like you can't make excuses. So bottom line is, take all the criticism you can get, constructive criticism. Keep all the negative ones. Keep the negative people away. They're a waste of time. Don't even let them enter your space. When you come across someone negative, don't even let them come near you. They don't exist. They just don't exist. They come near you, fuck them up. Just tell them fuck off. Like get out of my fucking face. Don't even come near me. Shut up. But your website, no, shut up. I don't hear it. Don't say anything. That's how you want to be with these people, because these are like vampires, like Dracula. I don't know who drinks blood, vampire or Dracula, or if there's a difference, but they are like those guys. They just suck the blood and life out of you because they have no blood and life in them. They do nothing good in their lives, and they're just out there to bring people down. I've had so many people like that in my life. It's in uncountable, like unlimited people. They have laughed at me on my face, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't phase me at all, not one bit, because it's irrelevant. Their opinions are irrelevant. Now, if they laugh at me or if they praise me or whatever this external noise that's coming, will it bring money to my bank account? Will it help my product become a success? Will it get my website more users? No. Whatever doesn't add value to what you're doing, it doesn't matter. You got to be hyper focused, hyper attentive to everything what they're saying, but also at the same time inattentive to what they're saying, if that makes sense. So you got to listen to everything, right? But be very selective about what you take in, and that's very important. It's a skill you got to build. I believe I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm like putting, like like implementing it right now, and it's a fantastic skill to have, because every day there's negativity all over the world, right? Some are crying about politics, some are crying about this wars, some are crying about what you're doing, some are crying about what they're doing. Everyone's crying about something, right? You cannot let any of it affect you, because at the end of the day, you've got something to do and you got to focus on that.